Yeah, okay, so I'm now going to read the piece I wrote for this residency, which is just such an honour to be, as I say, to be part of it all, but also quite challenging emotionally, quite challenging technically. So when I was asked to come, I'd never heard of Harwood House, for example, before I came, or Cartwright Hall for that matter. I hadn't heard of either of them. I'm based in Kent. But I went online, because of course we can now, and I went on a little tour, and I was very interested in Below Stairs. I'm always interested in Below Stairs, the underdog and the subtext and everything, and I was particularly interested in the spice room and the kitchens and all that, and of course the hierarchy, even Below Stairs. And also, I kind of had this sense very early on that below stairs there's always the subtext to something. You know, as a writer, you're always trying to write it at different levels. So, below stairs again gave me that metaphor. And also then, when I arrived, also I was taken in through below stairs. My first tour of the house started below stairs and then went up to the main floor. And also when I was online, I learned that the wealth of Harwood came predominantly from sugar, from slavery. So even before I'd arrived here, I kind of had that concept in my head. And as I was being taken round, almost like everything I saw, especially on the state floor, was very much through a sugar lens. You know, I was wearing these sugar glasses, and I almost couldn't see things for what they were. I could see them almost as if they were made out of sugar, and that very much fed the central metaphor of the poem. And the third thing I'll say, I also had 2 trips to Cartwright Hall, and initially I was thinking, in what way is that going to inform? I knew I was going to write about Harwood, but I was wondering how that might feed in, and it very much did, because I was very inspired by the artwork I saw there, and in particular by, there's a piece by Yinka Shoribare, the Nigerian artist. You might know him for Nelson's Ship in a Bottle. It's his most famous piece. One of his most famous pieces. And he's got a piece in Cartwright Hall called The Wanderer, which is a ship, a sort of miniature ship, which was a slave ship, and the sails are made out of Dutch wax, which is the cloth that's often used in Nigerian attire. So, and because he often in a way recreates Western sort of artifacts, paintings and things, but using Nigerian materials, I found that quite interesting. So that kind of, in a sense, informed the poem you're about to hear as well. The poem begins with 2 quotes. The first is by David Lascelles, the 8th Earl, of course, of Harwood, and this is what he says. The source of wealth that built Harwood is historical fact. There is nothing anyone can do to change the past, however appalling or regrettable that past might be. What we can do, however, what we must do, is engage with that legacy, and in so doing, stand a chance of having a positive effect on the future. And there's another quote that kind of feeds the poem, and it's the Picasso quote, "Art is a lie that makes us realise truth." The poem is called The Doll's House. Welcome to my house, this stately home where, below stairs, my father rules as chef, confecting out of sugar, flesh and bone, decor so fine, your tongue will treble clef singing its name. Nearsighted and tone deaf, I smell, taste, touch, create each replica in my mind's tongue. My name, Angelica. This is my world, the world of haute cuisine. High frosted ceilings modelled on high art, reflected in each carpet's rich design. Each bed, each armchair listed à la carte. Come, fellow connoisseur of taste, let's start below stairs, where you'll blacken your sweet tooth, sucking a beauty whittled from harsh truth. Mind your step, the stairway's worn and steep. Let your 6 senses merge in the half-light. This muted corridor leads to the deep recesses of the house. Here, To your right, my father's realm of uncurbed appetite. Private, the whiff of strangers breaks his spell. Now left, to the dead end. Stop. Can you smell cinnamon? Brown heat of the afternoon of someone else's summer. This rust key unlocks the passage to my tiny room, stick cabin, soundproofed with a symphony of cinnamon, shrine to olfactory, where I withdraw to paint in cordon bleu, shape, recreate this house in miniature. All art is imitation. I'm a sculptor of past imperfect. Hungry, I extract molasses from it. And reconstruct high culture from base material, blend art and fact in every glazed and glistening artifact housed in this doll's house, stately home of sugar, of demerara cubes secured with nougat. Look at its wall, bedecked with royal icing, the ceiling's crossbones mirrored in the frieze, the chimney piece. The floor is sugar glazing, clear as a frozen lake. My centerpiece statue of Eve, what a creative feast. A crisp pink lady, sculpted with my teeth, its toffee glaze filming the flesh beneath. The music room's my favourite. I make music by echoing design. The violet rose pipe ceiling is the carpet's fine mosaic of granulated violet and rose, aimed to delight the eye, the tongue, the nose. Even the tiny chairs are steeped in flavour, delicate as a demi-semi-quaver. Taste if you like, sweet as a mother tongue. See how this bedroom echoes my refrain, the chairs, the secretaire, commode, chaise longue, four-poster bed, all carved from sugarcane. Even the curtains that adorn its frame, chiselled from the bark, each lavish fold, drizzled with tiny threads of spun white gold. The library was hardest. How to forge each candied volume wafer thin, each word burnt sugar. In the midnight hours, I'd gorge on bubbling syrup, mouth its language, learned the temperature at which burnt sugar burned, turned sweet to bitter, inked a tiny passage that overflowed into a secret passage, the middle passage, made definitive that muted walkway, paved with sugar plate. Its sugar paper walls, hand-painted with hieroglyphs, invisible as sweat, but speaking volumes. Leading to the sweet pear drop of a stairwell, down and down, to this same room of aromatic brown in miniature. Here, connoisseur, I've set the doll, rough-hewn from sugarcane sweet wood, her choker, hard-boiled sweets as black as jet, her dress, molasses-rich, her features, hard. This hand-carved doll, with sugar in her blood, Europe, the Caribbean, Africa, baptized in sugar, named Angelica, has built a tiny house in demerara sugar grains, secured with sugar paste. Each sculpted room a microscopic mirror of its old self. And below stairs, she's placed a blind doll with kaleidoscopic taste, who boils, bakes, moulds, pipes, chisels, spins and blows sugar, her art, the only tongue she knows.